Pet Shop Adventure. It was a sunny Saturday morning when Jack woke up with excitement buzzing in his chest. Today was the day his dream would come true. Mom and Dad had finally agreed to let him have a pet. He had been asking for years, and after much discussion, they had decided that he was responsible enough to care for one. "Jack, are you ready?" Mom called from downstairs. Jack jumped out of bed, threw on his clothes, and dashed down the stairs, his heart pounding with anticipation. Mom and Dad were waiting by the door, smiling at his eagerness. "Today is a big day, Jack," Dad said, ruffling his hair. "We're going to the Alphabet Pet Shop where they have the most unique and magical pets. Are you ready?" "Absolutely," Jack exclaimed. He couldn't wait to see what kinds of animals they had. He had heard that the Alphabet Pet Shop was unlike any other pet store, with creatures from A to Z, each more fascinating than the last. The drive to the pet shop felt like an eternity, but finally they arrived. The Alphabet Pet Shop was a whimsical building painted in bright colors with letters of the alphabet dancing across the facade. Jack's eyes widened as they stepped inside. "Welcome to the Alphabet Pet Shop." A cheerful voice greeted them. It was Mr. Pemberton, the shop owner. He was a tall man with twinkling eyes and a bushy beard, wearing a vest covered in animal patches. "I see we have a young pet enthusiast today. Are you ready to find your perfect companion, Jack?" Jack nodded eagerly. "Yes, please." Mr. Pemberton clapped his hands. "Wonderful. Let the adventure begin." "Let's start with A," Mr. Pemberton said, leading them to a large tank. Inside was an African land snail, its shell spiraled and beautifully patterned. This is an African land snail. They can grow quite large and are fascinating to watch. Jack peered into the tank, marveling at the snail's size. "It's so big, but I think the sticky slime might be a bit too much for me." "Not to worry," Mr. Pemberton chuckled. "There are plenty more pets to see." Next, they moved to the bird section, where colorful budgies chirped happily. "How about a budgie?" Mr. Pemberton suggested. "They're chirpy and so cheeky." One of the budgies landed on Jack's shoulder, chirping a little song. Jack giggled, but he wasn't sure if a bird was what he wanted. "They're cute, but maybe something else?" Mr. Pemberton nodded and led them to the small mammals section. "Here we have chinchillas. They're awake all night, but not too squeaky." A fluffy chinchilla nibbled on a piece of apple, its large eyes curious. Jack smiled at its cuteness, but thought about how he liked to sleep through the night. Maybe not a chinchilla. "Don't discount a donkey," Mr. Pemberton said with a wink as they approached a pen outside. "Do you have a field or barn?" Jack shook his head. "We live in a house with a small garden." "A donkey might be a bit too big then," Mr. Pemberton agreed. "How about an exotic short-hair cat?" Mr. Pemberton suggested next. "They're affectionate and calm." Jack knelt down to pet a soft, round-faced cat that purred contentedly. "I like cats," Jack said, "but I want to see what else there is." "What you need's a ferret," Mr. Pemberton said as they walked to the ferret enclosure. "You can walk it on a lead." The ferrets were playful and energetic, darting around their pen. Jack watched them with interest. "They seem fun, but maybe a bit too hyper for me." "Or a pair of guinea pigs if it's friendly pets you need," Mr. Pemberton continued. Jack watched the guinea pigs snuggle together, munching on hay. "They are very cute," he said, "but I'm not sure yet." "If space is tight, then maybe a hamster would be better," Mr. Pemberton suggested. The hamsters were tiny and adorable, running on their wheels. Jack thought they were sweet, but wanted to keep looking. "They're nice, but I want to see more." "If you like to run around, then try an Irish setter," Mr. Pemberton said, showing them a beautiful red-coated dog. The setter wagged its tail enthusiastically, and Jack petted its soft fur. "I do like dogs," he admitted, "but let's keep exploring." "Choose a Jack Russell if you want a playful buddy," Mr. Pemberton said, pointing to a pen where a lively Jack Russell Terrier was playing with a ball. Jack laughed as the dog bounded over to him, tail wagging. "He's very playful," Jack said, "but I want to see what else is here." Or a cool king snake if you like your pets cold-blooded, Mr. Pemberton said as they reached the reptile section. Jack watched the king snake slither gracefully in its tank. It's fascinating, he said, but maybe not a snake. Maybe you'll love lizards. Leopard geckos are my fave, Mr. Pemberton said enthusiastically. Jack admired the leopard gecko's spotted skin. It's cool, but I think I want something I can cuddle. And giant millipedes. Want to hold one? Feeling brave? Mr. Pemberton offered. Jack hesitated, then shook his head. Maybe not a millipede. Red-bellied newts are cute. They're exotic and aquatic, Mr. Pemberton said. Jack watched the newts swim gracefully. They're nice, but I don't think a newt is for me. This old English sheepdog pup is such a big furball, Mr. Pemberton said as they reached a fluffy white puppy. The sheepdog licked Jack's hand, making him laugh. He's so fluffy, Jack exclaimed, but he still wanted to see more. While my pot-bellied piglets are oinky, smart, and small, Mr. Pemberton added. The piglets oinked and snuffled around. Jack giggled but wasn't sure if a pig was the right pet. You can't fail with a quail and their eggs taste yummy, Mr. Pemberton said. Jack watched the quails peck at the ground. They're interesting, but maybe not a quail. Or find our fancy rat and try tickling its tummy, Mr. Pemberton suggested. Jack tickled a rat's tummy and it squeaked happily. It's cute, he said, but let's keep looking. Like pets, brown and sticky, then a stick insect is good, Mr. Pemberton said. The stick insect blended perfectly with its branch. It's amazing, Jack said, but I think I want something different. And tarantulas are awesome and so misunderstood, Mr. Pemberton said, showing them a large, hairy spider. Jack shivered. I think I'll pass on the tarantula. Want something unique? Unicorn fish are hard to beat, Mr. Pemberton said as they reached the aquarium. The unicorn fish swam gracefully, its horn-like features striking. It's beautiful, Jack said, but I think I want a pet I can play with. Though a velveteen lop rabbit is cuddly and sweet, Mr. Pemberton said. Jack held a soft, velvety rabbit in his arms. It's so soft, he exclaimed. I like it, but I want to see everything before I decide. Can you keep up with a whippet? No good if you're slow, Mr. Pemberton said, pointing to a sleek, fast dog. The whippet looked ready to run. I like running, Jack said, but I'm not sure if a whippet is right for me. And here's a hairless Zolo pup. It comes from Mexico, Mr. Pemberton said. The Zolo was unique and friendly. It's interesting, Jack said, but maybe not the one. A yappy Yorkshire Terrier is fun from dusk till dawn, Mr. Pemberton said. The tiny terrier barked playfully. It's very lively, Jack said, but let's see the last one. And the mini zebu cow will munch and mow your lawn, Mr. Pemberton concluded. The zebu was small for a cow, but still quite large. It's cute, Jack said, but I think I know what I want. After seeing all the amazing animals, Jack thought hard about which pet would be perfect for him. He had loved meeting all the different creatures, but one had stood out to him the most. I think I'd like the Jack Russell Terrier, Jack said finally. He's playful, friendly, and I think we'll have a lot of fun together. Excellent choice, Mr. Pemberton said, smiling. Jack Russells are wonderful companions. Mum and Dad nodded in agreement. If you're sure, Jack, Mum said. A Jack Russell it is. Jack beamed with happiness as Mr. Pemberton brought the Jack Russell Terrier to him. The dog wagged its tail excitedly, and Jack knew he had found his perfect pet. Thank you, Mr. Pemberton, Jack said. This has been the best day ever. Mr. Pemberton smiled warmly. I'm glad you found your new best friend, Jack. Take good care of him, and he will take good care of you. As they left the Alphabet Pet Shop, Jack held his new puppy close, already thinking of all the adventures they would have together. It had been a magical day, and Jack knew that this was just the beginning of a wonderful friendship.